Hey guys, what's up? It is Grizzly here, back with another Shadow Era commentary. Today we have Zaladar versus Elidwin Frostmire. So, should be a good game. Both are potentially quick damage decks, slash, not. They can go for untraditional play. So we'll have to see what they come up with. And thank you for that permission, Than Long. I hope I pronounced that right. So, Elidwin Frostmire, of course, has the ability to deal 4 ice damage to any ally and freeze it for 2 turns. And Zaladar can deal, I think it's 3 combat damage. Okay, I don't know what that means, but can deal 3 combat damage to 2 different targets. So we see Elidwin start off with a quick Christopher Wild, dealing 1 combat damage real quick. A nice 1-1 with haste. It's a good tactical starting move, and the reason I say that is because starting out with a Chris Wild, it foregoes that traditional, both players give up their first 2 turns to sacrifice and do nothing, or their first turn, and then the second turn, like that, they do something. In your first turn, getting a monster out that you immediately attack with kind of puts your opponent on an immediate defensive. It's not exactly a huge lead, but it kind of sets the stage mentally for how you want to be. So we see Chris Wild attack Zaladar again, bringing him down to 26. Of course, at this point, Brutalist is going to come or go ahead and rip down one of those Chris Wilds. Of course, another one having been summoned. But yeah, Brutalist has more than enough health to wipe them both off the map without any problems. And that 1 attack power is, it's not exactly huge, but it's enough. We see another Brutalist go down, and I mean, they're not the strongest attack force, but they form a solid base for Zaladar to stand on, especially because Elidwin is going to take a little while to build up that shadow energy. Next turn, or next one of her turns, she'll be able to nuke one of them, but by then, Zaladar, I guarantee you, will have something else on the field. So Elidwin's going to have to come up with something else she can do to combat this Zaladar. And looks like she's just going to attack with her Chris Wild. So while we're waiting for Zaladar to do his turn, I know I haven't been casting as much as I should lately. Honestly, if I'm being, 100% honestly, I have been hooked on Black Ops. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like the game is new, but for some reason, I've just been hooked. So that's where I've been. We see Elidwin toss down a Tome of Knowledge, so that's going to improve her draw engine. The problem is that does cost 2 resources, and at this really early stage of the game, those 2 resources are going to be really precious. So getting it out as early as possible is always good, but I don't think it's going to be that useful yet until she gets more of a resource pool to draw from. Sorry, taking a sip of my drink. So we see Zaladar use a Shadow Font, giving himself some extra shadow energy. And that is going to be pretty critical, because now he has enough energy to use his special ability, so whatever Elidwin summons has to be strong enough to weather that attack, plus one of the Brutalist attacks, assuming that she uses her ability to nuke one of them, which she should this turn. So, I have to say, Zaladar, I mean, he took a couple early hits, and I have to say that was a very lackluster turn. I'm surprised she didn't even nuke one of the Brutalists, but this is going to be pretty painful for Elidwin. She just lost another resource, so that's even worse. But I mean, like I said, those Brutalists don't do a ton of damage, but 2 damage per turn is still 2 damage per turn. So we'll have to see if she can turn this around. I mean, it's far from over, but she's definitely at a disadvantage at the moment. That Zaladar, anything Elidwin summons is going to get nuked by that Zaladar. So I mean, we'll have to see. As a creature killer, Zaladar is definitely the more effective, but yeah, Elidwin wins the fight when it comes to precision targeting. So, alright, so we see Poison Gas go down. She does cast it on Zaladar, effectively putting him on a timetable. Now, that is a 24-turn timetable, but it is a timetable nonetheless. He will lose 1 health per turn, and Elidwin still got nothing monster-wise to throw on the field. This is going to be tough for her. She's got to get something down, some kind of anti-force. And there goes another Here Be Monsters chuck down, reducing Eladwin back down to 3 resources again. If Zaladar can keep her penned at 3 resources, I mean, she is just boxed in. Ideally, she'd be able to use Tome of Knowledge to draw a card, but the problem is that that's going to suck up half of her resource pool. So, I mean, she is just in a really tough spot right now. I really feel for her. We'll have to see if she can come up with anything to get some momentum here. Alright, so we see a Lightning Strike go down. She is using that to deal some damage to Zaladar and one of the Brutalists, reducing one of the Brutalists to 1 health, and Zaladar down by 3, and she does nuke the other Brutalist, so she finally took out some of that Brutalist attack force. But even with that Brutalist at a 1-1, he is still on the field, and Zaladar has enough energy for 2 of his special abilities. So anything Eladwin summons is going to be in a rough spot, and there is the Molten Destroyer. I figured that Zaladar was probably sitting on something powerful in his hand, but didn't want to play it until she used her ability because, I mean, he was just sitting there for so long. And Molten Destroyer is now out on the field, and that is going to be really tough for Eladwin to deal with until she gets enough Shadow Energy to hit him again. Supernova, interesting tactic. I mean, I think it was the right play here. It's going to neutralize the field. It's going to reset everything, and it's since Zaladar is at a health disadvantage, it also does leave her in a good place. We see Infernal Gargoyle hit the field. He is a 2/4 with a 1 damage reduction. So Eladwin's ability cannot kill him outright. So it's going to be rough to deal with. However, if she did use her ability to freeze him, he would be stuck, and that would give her time to get a monster out. I think we're going to see both players just go straight for each other. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to see. Both players are just going to desperately start smacking each other, trying to end this as quickly as possible. Zaladar definitely at a disadvantage with poison gas on him, but at the same time, he does have that special ability that can target Eladwin, so he can deal 3 damage this turn, 3 damage next turn. That's a total of 6 damage, bringing her down to 5. And that's if he doesn't even have any monsters or spell cards to play. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're about to see basically the Shadow Era equivalent of a base race. And I'll be interested to see who wins. There goes Deathmage Thaddeus down on the field. He deals that 1 damage initially, and there's a Brutalist. So now Eladwin has a 3 wall of monsters to deal with. Now, one of them is frozen for the moment, but still, that is 3 monsters that she has to neutralize if she wants to stay in this game, and she has nothing on the field. Honestly, I don't know what she's going to do at this point. I think Zaladar has this game cornered, but I've been wrong before. We'll have to see if she can come up with something that can counter Zaladar's attacks. Another Supernova would do it, though that would put her dangerously close to death. In fact, that would just kill her because Zaladar would then finish her off with a special ability. There are a couple cards that eliminate just the allies on the field. If she were able to pull one of those out, I'm not sure if they're compatible with her deck type, but one of those could save her. I mean, barring one of those, or a rain delay could help, maybe. Alright, we see Fireball go down. I think, yep, it is going to strike Deathmage Thaddeus. That's effectively a stall tactic at the moment because she just has nothing to do against these monsters. Now, I think Infernal Gargoyle will be unfrozen next turn, which will effectively mean 6 damage against her. It's going to bring her down to 1 health, if I'm right. If not, it's going to bring her down to 3 health. So, I mean, the point is that she is definitely circling the drain here. She needs something that can finish off Zaladar, but I think he just is going to win just because his special ability is going to be able to neutralize her more quickly than she can neutralize him. Alright. So we see Eladwin take that 1 damage hit. And the special ability follows that up. Like I said, I think at this point, that's going to be the GG. I just don't see what she could do to win this game. He just has her so boxed in. And there's Shriek of Vengeance to destroy her Tome of Knowledge. Just kind of the nail in the coffin, to be honest. I mean, there's not really much he can gain from doing it, or that she would have gained from that. If she wanted to win, she'd have to use her resources to play cards, not draw them. So, I don't know. I mean, it was a reason to play a card, I guess. But let's see what she drew. She might have an ace in the hole. I don't know. I've seen it before. If she could get, like, a Fireball and a Lightning Strike, she'd win. There's a Lightning Strike. Probably going to use that to kill Infernal Gargoyle, I would assume. Yep. And if she had a Fireball, nope, there's Retreat, using it to send Brutalist back to Zaladar's hand. He actually can't draw next turn. He is at card max right now, but he can play anything he wants. Or, not anything, but he can play probably anything in his hand. So, 4 health to 3, I mean, if she draws a Fireball, it is over. This is just absolute goodbye. Oh boy. Looks like Fan Long has the finishing card. Kind of a dick way to say GG. Nope, there's the Shadow Energy. He's going to use his ability now. That's the end of it. I gotta say, kind of a smart-assy way to say it. I don't know if the BM was necessarily called for. I'm always a big fan of civility and sort of humble, being humble when you win. So whenever players do stuff like that, it bugs me. But still, a well-played game by both players. So good on both of them. Honestly, it came down to the wire. Either player could have taken it, but a fantastic game. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my other video series, A Noob's Journey. And I will see you guys in the next video.